So today, as a continuation of our podcast, I want to talk about frameworks. And if you look at the publications on AI and the continuing challenges of AI, there's a fair discussion about frameworks. And I think that the reason for the discussion of frameworks arises because whilst there's a lot of discussion about AI, there's a lot of, for want of a better term, hype about AI and the successes of AI. Statistically, when you look at it, over 60% of AI projects either don't go to fruition. Very few actually deliver the ROIs that were promised. 80 to 90% of the POCs are not scaled up to production. And so whilst everybody understands that there is benefit in AI, corporations, industry haven't actually mastered the way to extract the benefits of AI. And so the discussion of frameworks comes along, and I think it's a very, very important discussion. You've spent a lot of time working on frameworks, and I wanted you to actually discuss how you came to the need for frameworks. I mean, it's actually very easy. You can pick up, if you Google it or go on to any of the ChatGPT or whatever, and give me a list of frameworks, you'll get a plethora of frameworks. And I think it's very, very important to understand the reasons why frameworks have actually come into existence so that people can then implement them correctly. I'd like you to share some of your experiences that have led to you developing some of your ideas and the SAIGE framework that you've developed.
Okay, I will make 2 points here. Firstly, frameworks or maturity models or methodologies are designed to solve business problems. And the best starting point is to understand what the problems are. So I think you sort of touched upon some stats, but from the C-suite, which is primarily my clientele, what I find is that when I am discussing the whole topic of, let's say, AI problems, how to solve AI problems, what I find is that fundamentally AI is actually disconnected from the corporate strategy completely. So they have a corporate strategy, or they have, you can say, a 3 to 5 year plan. They have a yearly financial plan, and typically AI is actually disconnected from that. And AI is actually pushed down into the lower ranks of the organization for them to handle. So that's the first point to make. It's understanding what the problems are within the C-suite regarding AI. Just to continue with that, to elaborate. So one is a disconnect from corporate strategy. The other is sometimes you have the C-suite or the Exco, they really understand. They understand AI. However, they have not communicated to the rest of the organization. So the rest of the organization in its operational mode is actually continuing, and there is an expectation on them, let's say, how to implement or introduce AI within the organization, identify use cases, extract the ROI, and then get a vendor on board to do the AI solution implementation. So the second point is that they understand, but they have not communicated it. The third point related to this problems, especially to do with the C-suite, is that some members of the C-suite are actually infatuated or captivated by the technology. They actually forget that this is a problem. So, AI can do this, it can do this, it can do this, but they don't really understand what business problem do I need to solve in order to execute my strategy, in order to deliver value to the shareholders and to the board. So there is that disconnect. The next point is that you have almost an overestimation of the power of AI. It's like a carte blanche, a panacea to solve any problem within the organization. So they don't understand the limitations. They don't understand the constraints AI has, especially in enterprises. If you're using generative AI, then it has a huge potential to hallucinate. And lastly, there is also a improper estimation of the costs involved in setting up the AI infrastructure. So when I engage with the C-suite, usually it's like they will touch upon some problems. I will then go away, bring back maybe an approach, and let's say solve that problem. Maybe they need an AI strategy, I will solve that, and then we have another problem. So in order to avoid all of this, I actually came up with the SAIGE framework, which has 18 capabilities. So it addresses almost all, you can say, the pain points, the problems to do with AI for any organization. So that was the rationale behind it. It's more of a problem solving approach rather than a standalone framework on its own. So it's the problems associated with AI, but I have, you can say, an approach that can deal with those problems quite easily.